All right. This is interesting today. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Michael Music. I don't have my studio room today where I normally do the calls, but I set up both on YouTube and then we got Facebook over there. So we got the tripod going today. But either way, at the end of the day, I'm just reading a book, so you can really do this anywhere. What's happening? Well, we're reading this book, Think and Grow Rich, and usually on Fridays, I typically will give a summary of the whole chapter. However, this chapter is definitely the longest in the book. It's on organized planning. I think it's about 63 pages, and we really were diving deep into the 30 major causes of failure yesterday, and that's pretty much how it's going. Uh, but what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about the so we got to like number 17 or 18. Yeah, we got to number 18 in the 30 major causes. What we're about to talk today is finish it up, and then there's also this self-analysis thing that I want to do. So that might have to be for tomorrow. So there may not be, or actually, I might just do this 7 days because you just gotta, given that the episodes are only 30 minutes long, and this is what we're talking about. So just to introduce myself, I'm Michael Music. I'm 22 years old. I've been reading this book since I was 19, and I just found it fascinating. So I went to Penn State, graduated with a mechanical engineering degree, and I said I wanted to be a professional salesman for the rest of my life. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing software sales. And besides that, I live a good life, but I know I could be living a better life. And that's why I'm really looking to have a nice conversation about this book right here that I got. So, without further ado, that's a little bit about me. We're going to talk about the 30 major causes of failure. And we're going to start on number 19 today. And number 19 states wrong selection of a vocation. Hill says, no man can succeed in a line of endeavor which he does not like. The most essential step in the marketing of personal services is that of selecting an occupation into which you can throw yourself wholeheartedly. So, what's that mean? He's saying, or let me ask you this: like, what business are you currently in, and do you love it? And have you figured out like whether you're giving it your 110% or not? And why do you think you may not be given all that you can be? Is it because you can't do the work, or is it because you don't truly love to do the work? And now the question is, okay, so you're there right now, but can you start thinking about what you truly would love to do? Number 20 on the list of 30 major causes of failure states lack of concentration of effort. Okay, so this is very interesting. Hill says the jack of all trades seldom is good at any. Concentrate all your efforts on one definite chief aim. Now, this is this is really interesting. The jack of all trades is seldom good at any. What's the one thing, right? This goes back to another cause of failure that we talked about yesterday, which was what is your definite chief aim? And one of the major causes of failure is not having a definite chief aim in place. So let's break that down. What is your definite chief aim? Basically, what do you want? Can you tell me what it is that you truly want out of this life before you go on and pass away? Like, what is it that you truly want? What is it that I truly want that I'm willing to make my definite chief aim and go for that and block out the rest? And what's cool about it is the definite chief aim is like an umbrella. It's at the top, and yet he's like obviously he's saying the jack of all trades is seldom at none. But does that mean you can't have other interests, other things that you're doing? No, he's saying, okay, you need that one thing. Focus all your efforts on that one thing. The rest will follow. And I'll leave it at that. I may not be uh, able to go so much into that right now, but maybe that's a conversation for later. But do you have that one definite chief aim? Let's wrap it up with that question. Okay, number 21, the habit of indiscriminate spending. The spendthrift cannot succeed mainly because he stands eternally in fear of poverty. Form the habit of systematic saving by putting aside a definite percentage of your income. Money in the bank gives one a very safe foundation of courage when bargaining for the sale of personal services. Without money, one must take what one is offered and be glad to get it. Okay, so do you set aside an income? How much do you set aside, and how is that helping you towards, your ultimate goal? What is that you want? What can you do about this habit? Like, how can you improve this habit so that you can at least start tracking and becoming more aware of your spending habits, how much you're keeping in the bank after every paycheck, and what's coming out of that? And why is it important that just having money set aside, money that you know is being invested for you? What is so important about that? Why is that help you out in going for your definite chief aim? Right? Is it because of the money, or is it because you have a foundation of courage so that you can bargain for the sale of your personal services? Right? At the end of the day, we're all salesmen, saleswomen, and at the end of the day, not everyone's going to agree on our price. So does that money aside at least help you like be like, no, this is my price and this is what you're going to pay me for it, and if you don't want it, you can take it and leave it. So that's just a thought I'm having. Number 22, lack of enthusiasm. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be convincing. Moreover, enthusiasm is contagious, and the person who has it under control is generally welcome in any group of people. Okay, this is interesting. So what level is your enthusiasm at, and why is it that enthusiastic people are welcome in all types of groups? So let's say, like, what is holding you back from really, merging with other people that you need to be connected with that may help you in your mastermind, right? How important is enthusiasm in it? 23, intolerance. The person with a closed mind on any subject seldom gets ahead. Intolerance means that one has stopped acquiring knowledge. The most damaging forms of intolerance are connected with religious, racial, and political differences of opinion. So, are you closed minded to new ideas, new changes in the world and in life? Right? Like, let's acknowledge the fact that the world is changing. It's changing. We got the internet now, and the internet is even evolving at this point. So are you closed mind to new ideas, new opportunities of earning an income? And especially, like, have you stopped gathering knowledge? Okay. Number 24 we're at. Intemperance. The most damaging forms of intemperance are connected with eating, strong drink, and sexual activities. Overindulgence in any of these is fatal to success. Okay, so what is the definition of intemperance? I truly don't know, but I do understand that he listed eating, strong drink, and sexual activities. Uh, Overindulgence in any of these is fatal to success. So, are you, uh, what's the right word? Are you given into bad habits, and what can you do to stop that? Number 25, inability to cooperate with others. He says most people lose their positions and their big opportunities in life because of this fault than for all other reasons combined. It is a fault which no well informed businessman or leader will tolerate. Inability to cooperate with others. Okay. I I just know what I know, but I would say, like, how important is it to you to get along with other people? Because, like, are you truly going to achieve high levels of success by yourself, or will you have other people on board? And what do you do when you do have a group of people driven towards one purpose? You need to cooperate with one another, right? So how can you become better at cooperating with other people? Okay, number 26, possession of power that was not acquired through self effort. Okay, so he says in parentheses, sons and daughters of wealthy men and others who inherit money which they did not earn, power in the hands of one who did not acquire it gradually is often fatal to success. Quick riches are more dangerous than poverty. Okay, I don't have much to say there because I didn't have much wealth given to me, if anything, and but that is one of the biggest, oh, not the biggest. That is a big cause of failure. If you are just given a ton of wealth, right? Like, and you didn't earn the money, you look at it differently, almost not as grateful as the person that truly went about, sold their own personal services or ideas, and earned the money they have coming in. Okay. 27. Intention, dishonesty. There's no substitute for honesty. One may be temporarily dishonest by force of circumstances over which one has no control without permanent damage. But there is no hope for the person who is dishonest by choice. Sooner or later, his deeds will catch up with him and he will pay by loss of reputation and perhaps even loss of liberty. Okay, so, let's say you can get away with a lie once in a while, but at what point does that lie catch up to you and ruin your reputation? And now, we're in the future, but no one wants to do business with you because they simply can't trust you. Okay, now we're wrapping up the last few. 28, egotism and vanity. These qualities serve as red lights which warn others to keep away. They are fatal to success. So, egotism and vanity. Okay. 30 or 29 on the 30 major causes of failure is guessing instead of thinking. Most people are too indifferent or lazy to acquire facts which to think accurately. Most people are too indifferent or lazy to acquire facts with which to think accurately. They prefer to act on opinions created by guesswork or snap judgments. That's interesting. My mentor used to say that most people truly don't think. And I was like, what do you talk like what do you mean by that? Like, of course people think. And he's like, no. And I said, okay, what about when you ask them a question? Don't they have to think of a response? And the truth is, no. They simply react to the question. They are they prefer to act on opinions or create guesswork by snap judgments. It's just like, oh, like, why do you believe this? Well, because blah, blah, blah. They say it right away. They actually don't spend time to think. So he's saying that 30 major causes of failure. Number 29 is guessing instead of thinking. That's interesting. Just keep that in mind. Do you subscribe to the idea that most people don't think? Right? I had another mentor tell me that most people are simply rearranging their prejudices, and that mental activity isn't the same as thinking. Now, the question you might want to ask is, do I actually think, or am I creating snap judgments on opinions? Okay, number 30 is lack of capital. This is a common cause of failure among those who start out in business for the first time without sufficient reserve of capital to absorb the shock of their mistakes, and to carry them over until they have established a reputation. Okay, so the last number 30, or not the last, but the 30th cause of failure is lack of capital. And finally, 31. Now he says this: under this, name any particular cause of failure from which you have suffered that has not been included in the foregoing list. Okay, so that is that. We still got some time. I guess I'm going to complete this little section here. Just read it out loud so that tomorrow what we'll do is we'll do an inventory test of ourselves. And these are just 28 questions that are going to really hit deep. And we're going to figure out, okay, where am I lacking and where do I need to be? Like, where am I now and what is the ideal state I need to get to? Okay, so to wrap things up, Hill says in these 30 major causes of failure is found a description of the tragedy of life, which obtains for practically every person who tries and fails. It will be helpful if you can induce someone who knows you well to go over this list with you and to help to analyze you by the 30 causes of failure. It may be beneficial if you try this alone. Most people cannot see themselves as others see them. You may be one who cannot. The oldest of odd admonitions is man, know thyself. If you market merchandise successfully, you must know the merchandise. The same is true in marketing personal services. You should know all of your weaknesses in order that you may either bridge them or eliminate them entirely. You should know your strength in order that you may call attention to it when selling your services. You can know yourself only through accurate analysis. The folly of ignorance in connection with the self was displayed by a young man who applied to the manager of a well known business for a position. He was made a very good impression until the manager asked him what salary he expected. He replied that he had no fixed sum in mind. Parentheses lack of which was like basically like lack of a definite aim. The manager then said, "Well, we will pay you all you're worth, and after we try you out for a week." "I will not accept it," the applicant replied, "because I am getting more than that where I am now employed." Before you even start to negotiate for a readjustment of your salary in your present position or seek employment elsewhere, be sure that you are worth more than you now receive. It is one thing to want money. Everyone wants more. But it is something entirely different to be worth more. Many people mistake their wants for their just dues. Your financial requirements or wants have nothing whatever to do with your work. Your value is established entirely by your ability to render useful service or your capacity to induce others to render useful service. We'll wrap it up there. All right, so that was that section that I wanted to read today. So a couple of questions that just came top of mind from reading that is, okay, so what are you worth? Like what and how do you measure what you are worth, right? What is your worth measured in? And I'm not saying like, oh, you're not worth this or like worth this X amount of dollars, but like what is worth, right? And in terms of what he just described there, it's like, okay, so how much value do you bring to the marketplace through your personal services or your ideas or your ability to lead people to do certain needed activities, right? So that was interesting story there that we just read. So with that being said, we just wrapped up the 30 major causes of failure. And one thing I'd suggest is, okay, like, I got this video going. Uh, Whoever's watching this may get some things out of it, but you're going to truly get value over this by repeating this over and over during, like, over a time period, and kind of coming back to the list after every so often during your life. So, like, if you're my age, right, I'm 22, I'm gonna come back to this maybe every month or so. I would say that's a fair estimate. I'm not saying you got to do it every month, but that's a good place to at least start. Some people do it every week. They measure themselves. It's really up to you to decide. Like, okay, how long do I want to measure myself? What areas was I lacking in the 30 major causes of failure? And have I improved since the last time I became aware of, okay, like, I am lacking in this area? So that's just some thoughts I had. I'd love to ask you now, like, what'd you learn? What'd you like from finishing up this just 30 major causes of failure? On my end, I love just the fact that, okay, this book, yeah, it's a book. Yeah, there's instructions to follow, and it's not something that you read, you follow them. But furthermore, it has these self-analysis questions and statements. Okay, like, so what am I doing wrong here? Because we're truly, like, this book is like not a reflection of what's inside of it, but it's a reflection of, okay, who am I at this moment? So that's just some wrapping up thoughts I had there. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll leave you with this until we meet again in time and space. Uh, who knows what the future holds? And so it's up to us to do something cool with it. So peace out. I'll see you, Facebook.